forgot to turn the recording on. So anyway, I'll start with attendance and then we'll take it from there. I guess I'll go in reverse alphabetical order. I usually go with the A's first. I'll go with the Z's first. And today is the 8th. So okay, Syed Abbas.
Present.
Was Syed. Syed Ahmad.
Here.
Samima Akhtar.
Here, Professor.
Was Samima. Alessandro Alessi.
Here.
Hello. David Batesh.
Hi, Professor. Good morning.
Morning, David. Anam Bahati.
Here, Professor.
Good morning. Melissa Calixto.
Here,
Melissa.
good morning.
Hello, Melissa. Winston.
I'm here, Professor.
Morning, Winston. Ben.
Here.
Hello, Ben. Kai Chen. Hello. Jirui Deng.
Good morning.
Good morning. Brianna Faustin.
Here.
Hello, Brianna. Steve.
I'm here.
Oh,
Professor.
Steve, I have. Okay, yeah, I skipped somebody. I just realized. Farhan Aram.
Here, Professor.
Hi, Farhan. Okay, so I had Brianna, Steve, Jonathan Gonzalez.
Here.
Hello, Jonathan. June Grant.
Here.
Hey, June. Minghao who? Minghao. Okay, Angelica.
I'm here. Good morning.
Morning, Angelica. Gian Lin.
Here.
Hello. Leon Liu.
Here, Professor. Good morning.
Morning. Elizabeth Maddox.
Good morning.
Good morning. Rochelle Mendez.
Here.
Hello. Demi Mullings.
I'm here.
Hello. Cameron Nahar.
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Nicholas Neglia. Nicholas. Aquino Olivier.
Aquino, I'm here.
Thank you. Mhm. Jenny Perfecto.
Here.
Hello, Jenny. Chenille.
Here.
Hello. Anna Siddiqui.
I'm here, Professor.
Good morning. Winjin Turbov.
Hello, I'm here.
Morning. Jaron Walls. Jaron. Okay. Yi Wen Wu.
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Kristen Yip. Kristen.
Hi, Professor. I'm
Morning.
here.
Hello. And Anita Zhao.
Here.
Hello. Let me just check the chat for a second. All right. Do we have to turn our cameras on? It might be a good idea. I mean, if there's some reason you don't want to, it's okay. I'm not gonna make an issue out of it, but it's probably better if you do, just so people can get to know you. But if you'd rather remain faceless, that's fine. You know, maybe you're sick or something, that's fine. Okay, Minghao Hu. Is Minghao Hu here?
Here, Professor,
Oh.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you. Nicholas Neglia. Nicholas. Is Nicholas here? And lastly, Jaren. Is Jaren Walls here? All right, so the two people I don't have are Nicholas and Jaren. Okay, that's good. Only two people not here. So the discussion board is due tomorrow, and you can basically, this can just be a precursor to the discussion board. You can write the same kind of stuff. I don't, it's fine if you do the same thing. In academia, one thing people often do is they write up a paper. Let's say they do a research project and they write up a paper, and then they'll present it to a conference. And the idea is that maybe you get a little publicity, if it's a good conference, there's hierarchies, and, there are better conferences and better journals and worse conferences and worse journals. And if you get into a good conference, there might be 20 people at the session, or, so you get a little attention from, there aren't that many people who are going to read the paper usually, in a given specialty. So, you get some exposure, you get a bunch of people to hear about it. And also you try out your ideas and get some critique, questions or, arguments that people have. And then you, after that, you might rework the paper a little and then submit it to a journal. So it's quite frequent that a paper will be presented and then written about in higher ed. And, that's, I think that's kind of what we're doing here. So without further ado, why doesn't Anita start? Anita Zhao?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it okay if I read it from my discussion board?
You can. I recommend, and this is true for everybody, I recommend that when you talk, learn to talk extemporaneously, which means it's okay if you get a fact wrong, but I think if you read, you tend to bore people. Like, I know when I teach, if I talk informally, students are more interested. If if I talk about things I've experienced, people are more interested than if I just go over some notes I've prepared from the book. I have to do both because I have to go over the book material too. But I recommend that you talk extemporaneously. But if you absolutely have to, it's okay to read it. I'm not gonna.
Okay, got it. So for my career plan, I plan to research a company that I would be interested for my major. So I'm majoring in accounting. So mostly like sometimes I will look into like the big fours, and sometimes I will also like ask my peers because some of them will work in the field, and like I will like inquire and like ask about them about their work experience.
Very
And
Very
I will also have like my resume ready as well, like just in case I have like a work opportunity that I can send in my resume.
Okay, good. Have you done internships yet, or are you thinking of?
Yeah, this semester I'm doing an internship.
Excellent. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
on track. That's great. Good,
Mhm.
very good.
Thank
Kristen,
you.
you're welcome. Kristen? Kristen, yep.
Yeah, Professor. Um, so do I just go like according to the questions?
You can do it however you like.
Oh, okay. So a couple of terminal values that drive my ambitions are passion, exploring, and discipline. My action plans are to either shadow people, get information from people, like asking family members who are experienced in like job searching and doing what I like to do. I'm trying to get into design, like in the design field.
Okay.
Maybe eventually even opening like my own business for like interior and exterior designing. Um, I'm planning to ask my cousin because she has like her own business and she has a totally completely different degree. She went off path and I think that's a smart person to ask.
Okay, very good. Your field, you know, I'm wondering, like,
I would
I'm
be
not saying you absolutely should have, but I'm just suggesting that it might be a good idea to think about how tech is going to affect that field. Have you thought about that at all?
right, yeah. Yeah, I have. I've been like looking into learning softwares and like SketchUp, CAD, and like learning all the possible softwares that would aid in the designing field.
Good, good. Yeah, and I think it's something that you probably need to keep looking at constantly, because I'm sure there's going to be changes very fast.
Right. It
You know,
updates very frequently.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good, very good, Kristen. Yiwen Wu.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. So your career goals?
My career goals is just like I can find a job that can I can get enough of rest of time in case of work.
So what type of job are you describing?
I'm thinking I can look for like the kind of like selling house, a job like that.
Retail sales.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Have you done this kind of work in the past?
not yet, but
Yeah,
my instrumental values will be like independence or logicals.
very good.
Yeah, because I think in that way, like maybe I can know like different friends or I can know different customers, and then you make my jobs will be like I can work better on it.
Great, great. So I suggest you actually you could get a job now in that field, and
Yeah, I'm trying to.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
I'm learning on that way now. Yeah.
good. And also that's another field where there's going to be changes. There was already an article in CNN about
Mhm.
real estate sales being changed by ChatGPT, that like the advertising is now being done by artificial intelligence, and increasingly I'm sure the market will be driven by information available to these artificial intelligence systems. So I
Yeah.
think it's important for you to keep on top of that and you know, follow how the field is evolving based on the technology.
Yeah, I will learn more and like understand more from that. Thank you about it.
Good. Okay, Jaron. Oh, Jaron's not here. Jaron, is Jaron here? Mwinjin, what's a halo? You have a halo there. You're a saint. Is that the you're an angel? Is that okay? Go ahead.
Oh, I go.
Yeah, your
Oh,
turn.
Professor. Oh, my turn. Oh, okay. My terminal value is money. I'm gonna be honest. I want to get a lot of money and I want to retire early.
All right.
So the
Well,
job
we all want to do that, you know. I mean, let's, you know, but how do you do it? I mean, that's a terminal value, right? But how do you achieve the terminal value?
I'm thinking of going to marketing or sales or something around that area. I'm gonna get like experience for a couple of years, and I'm gonna start my own business because I know the best way to get a lot of money is to start your own business, but it's risky. So that's why I want to get the experience first and then start my business, or whether it's consulting or whether it's just something else.
All right, so how are you going to work on narrowing the field to what kind of business? Usually, you know, there are people who start multiple businesses, but usually most people just
Yeah.
focus on one business. So how are you going to narrow that down to do something you're good at and you're going to make good money at?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get the experience first before I start anything. Because right now I could probably maybe start a business with my friend. He does like, I think, junk removal. I want to start with them, but like I told him I'm not gonna do it yet because I have no experience in like running a business.
So like demolition work and
Yeah, demolition work. Yeah.
construction stuff. Well, you can make good money at that. That's for sure. Good. All right. There'll always be demand for that, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Tech, I don't know if tech will affect that in the short run. I think in the long run, it probably will become more mechanized than it is, but how that would play out, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm
For sure.
thinking about. Yeah, good. All right. I actually hired a demolition guy last year for something, so I know a little bit
Awesome.
about it. Okay. Very good. You know, and focus, I mean, you know, if that's really what you want to do, I mean, you should be working in that. You have a job in that area at this point, or you should.
No, he has the experience. I would run the business side and stuff. That's what we did. Our deal was.
Have you, I have a student in another class from a few semesters ago, I mean to say, no, it was a different class, but it was a few semesters ago, who was working as a construction manager while he was going to school, and he wanted to get a degree in construction management so he could move up, but he was already doing like oversight and office work for a construction company. You know, so you can do that too. I mean, that's New York is filled with large scale construction companies, you know, that hire thousands of people. And I'm sure they have a lot of business problems right now for a variety of reasons. So might be a good time for you to look for a job.
Oh.
Okay. Anna Siddiqui,
Hi, Professor. Can you guys hear me?
we can.
Okay. So for my career goals and such, there's a lot of industries that I would find myself interested in, but the most prominent would be like the fashion or entertainment industry. So I'm currently getting a degree in business administration management, and I'm hoping that that degree can help me in the future build my career up to being maybe like the editor of a fashion or entertainment magazine.
Oh, cool. Like
Yeah.
The Devil Wears Prada, like that.
Yeah, that's a great example of it. I'm just not sure like I would be, the editor of such a prominent magazine like Vogue or something, but maybe
Oh.
like something smaller or something more local.
If you think big,
Um,
you'll get it, you know, but of course you have to
I
work.
mean, that would be great.
Have you done an internship in publishing at all?
No, not yet. Currently I work in the fiscal and business service center. It's like finance.
In a
Basically.
professional job?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to go about stepping into the fashion or entertainment industry, to be very honest, because I know they require a lot of unpaid internships for you to even think about
Yeah,
getting in.
I
And
agree.
I'm just not somebody who appreciates unpaid internships.
Uh,
So I
uh,
definitely do think it's going to be a lot of job searching, and I think it's going to have to do a lot with me just gaining experience at any sort of job that could be related to fashion or entertainment, like a management position, which could then in turn lead me to in the future, like 10, 15 years from now, gaining a management
What do
position.
you do again? You're what you work in a corporate setting or Wall Street?
I work at, no, that's big. I work at Berkeley College. I'm a college assistant in the Fiscal and Business Service Center.
So this in the college service center. I see. So it's basically like a beginning job. It's not really.
Yes, just something to help build my resume, help
Have
me
you-
understand
Have
how
you done
things work.
finance work at all, or any kind of accounting?
I've mainly just done like entering invoices and stuff.
Okay,
And learning
well,
how to use like Financial Edge
so
and CUNY First.
so there are a lot of media companies. You said fashion magazine. Well, that's media. So there
Yes.
are a lot of media organizations, and I think, of course, magazines are giving way to websites. So I'm not sure how that's playing out because the I think you lose something when you see something of fashion photography online. It's not as clear as print, but in most areas, the magazines are giving way to online, as you know. I don't have to tell you this. In fact, there was just some news that the largest magazine publisher in Germany is selling or closing. It has something like 50 or 60 titles, and it's closing 40 of them. They're only going to keep 10. So they're getting rid of like 40 or 50 magazines. And I think this is occurring throughout industry. So I think you need to think also, besides magazine, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you need to be aware of that trend. But also that there's probably a lot of websites and other internet-driven venues for you to explore as well. I guess you know that already, but just to be clear about it.
Yes. I was definitely thinking more like website
Yeah.
editor,
Okay.
because I don't think that, I mean, I think that the prominent magazines like Vogue, Cosmopolitan, People, they're gonna stay, but some of the smaller ones, I don't think they're gonna last as magazines. And like you said, I think they'll be converted over to websites, simply because our generation is heading more into a digital age, even more than we currently are.
Oh, yeah.
So like you said, I think I will keep my options open when I'm job searching. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, I would say you should somehow work out with the college that you're going to go on an internship somewhere and get that internship, at least one or two. And, you want some experience in the field. The other thing I would say is the informational interviewing technique is very relevant to you. You want to pursue that, and do a lot of networking. Part of it, there's probably trade associations and fashion shows and trade association meetings and things like that. And you want to become a known presence in those places. So, you want to get involved. In other words, you're not going to, sending job letters is not going to do it in that industry. You need to get, really be involved. So, maybe get an evening degree in when you're finished with this in, there's probably like FIT probably has programs or stuff like that. And, maybe you can network through that vehicle. But I think basic informational interviewing is a great way to do it. Okay.
I will definitely look into that. Thank you so much, Professor.
You're welcome. Chenille.
Hi, I'm here.
Hello.
All right, so my instrumental values, I really value honesty and self-sufficiency. And
Okay.
for my terminal, it's freedom of financial freedom. I mean, that's the hope for the future, of course, and equality, meaning you get the right opportunity to be able to get the experience and to get your career goal and to achieve all that you have listed in terms of like starting as an associate and work your way up to the ladder, right? What you see yourself achieving in a career, how do you values informing those achievements? Within the next couple years, 5 years, as you ask, I intend to complete my BBA in management. I have an interest in anything operational projects, and also I have recently started to get interested in real estate, which is, I feel like, is a pretty good industry because it can you can incorporate both projects or operation management in real estate in terms of demolition and rebuilding homes and selling and all of that. So I have been studying for that exam to get licensed.
Good.
So I want to
Are you
also,
working at all? Have you taken a part-time job somewhere?
I am currently working, but I work as a server. So I have also been looking in the industry to see if there's any openings for any associate jobs such as management or any bookkeeping and stuff like that. I have been sending out resume from the other day as well. So
You could easily informational interview. There's probably hundreds of real estate firms, sales firms in Brooklyn, and some are bigger than others. Some probably have, good sized staff.
yes,
So
I
you
have
can
been
start.
looking into a lot of them, but like I get advice from a lot of other real estate agents that tell me like to look into probably some like local ones because of the fees that attract with them, but the bigger companies. So I need to like look into the smaller ones that like will give you a better advantage to grow to be able to, but it also takes time because you have to build your clientele and know that you're on the ground. But I work full-time, also go to school full-time. So it's a work in progress.
It's hard to get. True. But of course, you could shift your work to real estate. In other words, you could actually just start doing that.
With
There's,
all that, I'll get seal and then be able to take care of myself.
you're afraid you won't be able to make enough in the
I
beginning.
mean, it's very competitive, so you got to weigh the pros and the cons relatively to
Okay.
see
Of course,
possibilities.
though, eventually you're going to have to do that. I mean, if you want
Yes,
to, yeah. So
definitely.
maybe you're going to school, you want to wait till you graduate, but eventually, I think also you might be able to get like an office job in one of these firms. Like doing like accounts payable or whatever, and
Or yes, I have been looking into that as well. Receivable, payables or receivable.
yeah. So the more exposure you get to the field you want to go into, the better. If
Yes.
you're working in left field and you want to go to right field, it's a lot harder than if you're already in right field. All right,
Okay.
good.
So for right now, I'm just working on getting the experience, and within the next couple of years, I should be able to master my career goals.
Okay,
Move on to
good.
getting my master's or my PhD or something.
PhD. Why?
Yes.
Why? Why a PhD of all things?
I don't know if there's a specific answer to that, but I definitely want to attain the highest level of education I could possibly get.
Yeah, like there's a huge, PhDs can take 5 years. I spent 5 years on mine, and it was a full-time job. So it's not for everybody. I'm not saying not to do it. I don't think if you want to go into real estate sales, you definitely don't need a PhD. I'm not sure how much value added there is to it either.
I said my career goal is to be a project management. Like I definitely want to do projects, like to go into that.
Even so, so what happened to real estate? Maybe I misunderstood. So you want to go into real estate sales and then move into some kind of construction?
Mm-hmm.
I see. Oh, well, so maybe you and Wingen should start a firm together. So basically, yeah, I mean, if your goal is construction, I mean, if that's really what you want to do, you really should start just meeting people in that field, through the informational interviewing or through, just go out there and look for a job. I'm sure they need people. So, don't waste your time, because you're afraid.
Okay.
And one thing you definitely don't need for that is a PhD. Okay.
I know, but I just always have it on my list.
There are things, it's kind of like having a Rolex watch, it's a nice thing, but do you really want to spend 20 grand on it? That's the thing. So there's a huge cost. And there won't be any return if you work in industry. So, you know, it's basically the purpose of a PhD is to go into, you know, college teaching, higher ed. There's some who end up teaching in high schools, and a few who like get jobs in fields like finance and things like that. You know, there are some people who end up, you know, if you've got a PhD in chemical engineering, you could end up working for the National or Aeronautical and Space Administration, or you know, some such thing. But in general, it's for college teaching. So you know, it's kind of like saying, well, I'm going to get a law degree because it's a high degree. You know, if you don't want to be a lawyer, there's not much reason for it. You know, it's just a big project. But yeah, I'll leave that to you. All right, Jenny Perfecto.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jenny Perfecto.
Yes.
Hi,
Sorry.
Jen.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So one of my career, I don't have like a specific thing set in mind as of yet. But one thing I did want to do was going to like the beauty industry.
Uh-huh.
So right now I am majoring in business administration. What I do plan on doing after I get my degree and stuff is attend esthetician school in order to get licensed to do like facials and stuff on people, like own my own business.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always worked in customer service, so I know like getting along with clients and, you know, like, I guess being friendly or, you know, being good with clients is something I'm able to do. One thing I do know that I will probably struggle with is getting clients, just because it is at the moment one of like the competitive.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Um,
beauty shops. I see them all over the place in the city.
yeah, at the moment. So it just depends what how the route goes and stuff.
Well, you know, one thing you could do is get, you know, do some interviewing of like successful owners and maybe get a job with one, you know, to practice. And, you know, I think that's a fine goal. You make great money in that field. And, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, is Aquino? Olivier?
I'm here, Professor.
Hello, sir.
Hello. So I'm kind of already in my field. I'm an
Okay.
HR. I'm an
You're
HR
in HR
manager.
already. Okay.
And I do it on a federal level. So I planned on being locked in, getting that pension, and just continue to
Sure.
climb that ladder. So
What agency are you with?
the Department of the Army.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're a civilian?
Yeah, I'm a civilian.
Interesting. Okay. Good for you. I used to teach compensation at the Norfolk Naval Base. And I'd often get a lot of military guys. I mean, that was the whole purpose of it, was, you know, to give them one of the benefits they get is paid education.
Yeah,
So,
they
yeah,
definitely promote a lot of paid education.
yeah,
There's a lot of benefits for the military guys, like you get lower interest rates on your credit cards and things of that nature. So
yeah.
yeah,
How high up can you go as a civilian in work? Which branch, by the way?
So when you in the federal system, you could go to any federal agency. So if I wanted to leave Department of the Army and go to the FBI or the DOJ,
Really? Okay.
and I could go anywhere in the state, any other agency, because once you get that pay grade, all you need to do is a year in that time to get promoted to the next level.
Okay.
There's no other real requirements. There's not a lot of politics in terms of getting to that next level. So like,
Is there like, do they use tests like civil service tests for those jobs?
Nope.
It's just getting the experience and,
Getting experience and getting your foot in the door.
okay.
Once you get your foot in the door, after you do 52 weeks in one pay grade, you are automatically eligible for the next pay grade.
How do you think tech is going to change the HR field?
I think it might be more beneficial. I know like something the Army is doing is there's now apps that are coming out that allow soldiers to do some of their HR work for themselves. So if they need to do a change of address or certain things, they can request it on the app. And that way the HR on the back end could just go see it and do it instead of like piling things up on the paper desk or relying on someone to do you a quick little favor or just be more automated.
Yeah.
I think outside of that, I feel like things like payroll, things of that nature, you always need some type of human component to just make edits, unless they get it to a point where it's immaculate. But I feel like a lot of the things are already streamlined on some type of platform or AI.
There's always going to be demand for like human beings to help the employees who are having trouble, like say, be the human face of the HR policy.
Right.
And also things like counseling, emotional stuff that people need help with, that I think will also always be there. Stuff like like the computation of when I started in industry, I was computing pension benefits. That I'm sure has been mechanized already. But the aspect of it that won't be mechanized is like planning, like strategic planning stuff. So stuff like planning and human interaction, things that can't be duplicated easily.
I think one thing that might be avoided with human interactions is things like onboarding, right? So instead of having someone do an orientation, maybe it will be a world where there's some type of simulation or virtual engagement where you don't need to do the onboarding process in person to allow that person to have more time to do other things. But outside of that, like you said, I feel like a lot of things will involve in-person interactions because you need that human component to understand right where the employee is coming from and where the management side is coming from and what can and cannot be done.
Makes sense. Absolutely. I agree with you. Good. Okay. Thank you, Kino. Nicholas Neglia. Nicholas? Is Nicholas here? Okay, Cameron Nahar. Cameron? Cameron Nahar. Okay, Demi Mullings. Oh, I may not have these people even still in the class. Yeah, they are. Demi?
Yeah,
Okay, how we doing?
I'm good. So for my career plans, I plan to also work in the beauty industry, but on a corporate level as a human resource professional.
Good.
And
You-
I currently work at Sephora right now as a beauty advisor.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you want to move up into HR within Sephora?
Yeah, and so for them, you have to work for them for at least a year, and I've been there for like 4 months to do their internship. So I'm gonna try to do that, but also do like other internships because most of my internship experience isn't on the like in the beauty industry, as it's like a fairly new goal that I had. So I
Right.
really hope to do that then applying to theirs.
Well, it's great. You're already you've got your foot in the door. So, I mean, that's really important. And that's a great industry. And there are a number of beauty companies in Manhattan and the city. So I'm sure you'll have plenty of opportunity. So, what do you see? How do you think, will there be effects of technology on the beauty industry?
I feel like for some parts of it, yeah, because they're advancing technology. Like even for internships I was looking at, they were within like marketing and stuff like that. They were saying that how does like asking you questions about how tech and that can evolve their company. But for the human resources level, I feel like it kind of won't be that influenced by tech.
Okay. I would say, if you focus on the employee interaction directly, that will always be a useful skill. You know, if you're good at interfacing with, you know, employees and they like you and you make the company look good and, you know, top management, you know, you're good interface between management and the employees, that there will always be demand for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that won't change. I think some of the administrative stuff will be increasingly mechanized, but as I said to Aquino, the planning part, I think will never be. So, you know, if you get, you know, you become more sophisticated in HR policy, you know, past the SHRM, the exams, we get certified SHRM person and, you know, get a good understanding of HR issues and you're good at planning. I think you can always move up into executive ranks that way. Okay, very good, Demi. Rochelle Mendez.
One of my terminal values is, I guess, economic security.
Okay.
And I guess my career goal is to work in some type of management position or maybe an HR position or something like that.
Okay, so you want to narrow that down, you know, like, you know, figure out what kind of management job. You know, management could be anything from running a 7-Eleven store to running, you know, Goldman Sachs. You know, it's such a broad thing. You gotta, you know, what industry, what field, what can you focus that a little bit?
I'm still not completely sure. I'm just looking into getting like internships to see what route I want to take specifically.
Okay, like what internships do you have in mind?
There's like this internship for Yankee Stadium or like basically like managing like I guess certain like what people have to do or and stuff like that.
Okay. So does sports management interest you? I mean, would you want to be like, you know, the Moneyball guy and, you know, plan, you know, stuff for the New York Yankees?
It's something that interests me, but I'm not like completely convinced yet of it.
Okay. Well, what can you think of anything that you would really want to focus? I mean, you know, as I've said, if you take a job somewhere, you know, you know, so like you take a job in marketing, it's kind of like you bought a ticket to go to the country of marketing. And, you know, if you go to the airport and you buy a ticket, usually you want to go to a specific place. You don't go to the airport and say, oh, I'll get a ticket, but I'm not sure where I want to go. So maybe I'll buy a ticket to Bermuda, but I really want to go to Paris. You know, and then you wind up in Bermuda and you say, wait, this is in Paris, but you didn't buy the ticket to go to Paris, you know? So I think like a lot of what you want to do is focus on where you want to buy your ticket, where you want the ticket to take you, you know, and that's what I'm kind of trying to get you to do is like focus on what ticket you want to buy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so did Xingrang May Zingrang May. Is Zingrang here? No, I think not. Okay, I think they dropped actually. Okay, Elizabeth.
Can you give me one moment? I'm just on the bus. I'll go next.
Oh, okay, I'll come back to you then. Leon Liu.
Hi, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There's actually a lot I want to do with my career goals. So currently I am a business administration major, concentrating on HR. So currently with my job search, I want to like find jobs on, I know my concentration is HR, but like I wouldn't mind like job searching for, whether it's marketing, management. I feel like my concentration doesn't really define my direct career goal, if that makes sense. I
Uh,
just want
well, do you have
business
a
degree at this
focus on
point.
what it is you do want to do?
Yeah, so my main thing that I want to do, because so first off, my degree is just to like start me off somewhere to generate some sort of income. But what I want to do when I'm maybe like a little bit older is I really want to create passive income. I have a lot of families who have properties and they don't work. They generate this passive income, help generate their wealth. But currently I
You're
have
saying
two older.
owning real estate isn't work?
What do you mean?
If you own property, is that work or not?
No, that is work, definitely,
Yeah.
but it's more of generating passive income. So currently I have, to start off my career, I have two older sisters. One of them is a nurse and the other one works in marketing for a company. I'm not exactly sure. And I've been talking to the both of them saying like, hey, if you could land me a position. And like, for example, my sister, the nurse one, you gonna land, she works at a hospital, obviously. I would ask her like, hey, can you land me a position in the hospital? Or I would ask my other sister who works in marketing, like, hey, is there a position in your company and all of that stuff?
Have you talked to them about it already?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They think they
It
can
was,
get in?
yeah, of course, because both of them are they're respectable and reputable in their position. For example, my nurse sister, she's considered a really good nurse. And my sister who works in marketing, she's a really good marketer. She's one of the main ones within the company. But that's just to start me off somewhere.
Which
My
field
career
do you
goals
really
is,
want to work in? I mean, you're gonna have to spend at least 10 years working. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
so
Somewhere in
uh,
like the tech part, whether like the HR part, like obviously if I land my job in the hospital, I'm not, I have no experience in the medical field, but there are positions where it's like, front desk advisor or the people, all of that stuff.
yeah, absolutely. So it's good you're working on, getting your connections through your sister. That's a good thing. I would say you should focus a little bit more on what it is you really want to do. I mean, you chose HR, but I mean, if you prefer marketing, that's fine. But whatever it is, HR, marketing, concentrate on that. I wouldn't, if you want to go into marketing, I wouldn't major in HR, I'd major in marketing. So, on the other hand, if you want to work in a hospital, they use a lot of, well, they have some marketing probably, but they have a lot of HR in a hospital. So, that fits a hospital well to major in HR. So, one thing you could do right off is get an internship at the hospital. And then that makes it your sister's job a lot easier to talk them into hiring you as an HR person because you already have experience there. So basically, I think you're on the right track in using your connections, but you should consider like focusing. Your idea of passive income is fine. Like building up investment portfolio is fine. To do that though, I mean, you know, if you need at least an asset base in New York, in my opinion, of a few million at a minimum to live off the assets. You know, usually it's like 4% or so can be used for personal. So, you know, you're talking maybe 4 million or 3 million, you know, you get 120 grand. That would be enough to cover, you know, inflation and some investment growth and allow you to live. So to get to that 3 or 4 million point, or maybe 2 million if you're a little more economical, to get to that 2 million point, you know, it requires a lot of, you know, work and saving. And a lot of people, you know, have trouble doing that. I'm not saying you can't do it, you can. But what you want to do is live very economically, you know, maybe live at home with your relatives, and I'm sure they'll understand that, and put away your money into your investment pool. But it's going to take, even if you do that and you live very parsimoniously, it's going to take a number of years to get a sufficient asset base to be independently wealthy. Most people can't do it because they spend their money. You know, most people say, oh, I want a Rolex, or I want a BMW, or, you know, I want a country house, or whatever it is. And so they, you know, they never put away. If you read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I recommend that you read it. And also the book The Millionaire Next Door, which is a great book about that subject. But the main point is, if you look at the millionaires described in The Millionaire Next Door, and they give a very careful description, they tend to be people who are happy with what they do. They usually own their own businesses, or you know, are working in a field where they don't feel the need for escapism. You know, the message that you give is that they get enough out of life. They have a family, they have a job, and they put away a lot of money. They don't spend. So most people don't have that kind of fulfillment in their job, and so they use consumer goods as a narcotic, and you can't do that if you want to be wealthy. So, you know, what I'm suggesting is that your career choice is related to your goal. That, you know, if you want to be a millionaire, you should think in terms of this life balance, where you're doing stuff you enjoy, you know, stuff that inspires you, and you're able to save money and plow it back either into your business or into savings of some kind. And so, you know, it takes probably 20 years working at a normal job to get to that level. So my advice is to not just say, oh, I'm going to get the ticket, whatever ticket randomly falls in my lap, and it'll eventually take me to the land of independent wealth. Rather think in terms of what it is you really want to do. And if you enjoy doing that, you'll be stable and you'll build up on that, and you'll be able to save more. And so your goal will be better accomplished that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, everything you just said, it was the same exact advice from my family members who are already into this field. Like, they told me it would take time. They told me not to, you know, put more money into your savings. Don't really spend it so much on consumer goods, as you said. Like, everything you told me, they told me that. And it feels, I'm a little more confident knowing that I can always go to them for advice, or go to them if I want to ask them about questions, because they're already in this. I have family members who have multiple properties, multiple assets, and they're the ones who actually convinced me to go into this, because they know that, like, obviously, like, the goal in life is to make a lot of money, live happily, retire early. And they're the ones who told me, or like convinced me to get into this. And
That's
as I
good.
stated, everything you said, they said the exact same thing to me.
Yeah.
So they're really knowledgeable people.
That's good.
And
That's good. You have a great
yeah,
support system. It's very nice. My one caveat, though, is like, look into yourself and understand what in yourself is fulfilled by your work, and then pursue that kind of work. All right. So whatever it is, I think it's a lot, if you look at like the super successful people out there, it's almost universally true that they really like what they do. I mean, it sounds like you like real estate, you're interested in real estate. So why not just work in that? Why do you need your sisters? Just start working in a real estate investment firm or a REIT or, do some kind of investment work and, that do stuff you really want to do, rather than, oh, I know somebody, so I'll get a job, the job doesn't matter. I don't really agree with that. I think, if you're working in something that makes you feel stifled, it's going to be a lot harder. And you won't be as happy. That's my only advice. So in other words, be a little bit more egotistical, and say, what is it that I want for myself? What would I feel happy? Do I want something creative? Do I want to help people? Do I want to deal with money? Whatever it is. And, find that path, and that'll take you, as long as you live frugally and invest. In our world, it's very important to invest, and real estate's a great avenue for that. So, especially if you know what you're doing and you have family members in it, that's a great way to do it. And so, I would just say, find something that inspires you along the way.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Professor.
Welcome. Okay, good. Jean Lynn,
Yes.
go ahead.
For my career goal, I would say I will focus on small business near my neighborhood, and I have done my resume and trying to get some internship. But for now, I work with my relative for part-time. And
What do you do?
Service, something related.
Like a service job?
Yes.
Like in what is it in? Like what kind of service?
Like restaurant.
Okay. All right. So does that field, it's a good field. Is this something of interest to you, Gian?
Yes. And I would say if there's an opportunity, I will start a business by myself or with a friend. And
in the restaurant industry?
yes.
Good.
Because I have experience of it, maybe.
Makes a lot of sense. What type of restaurant?
Buffet, I think.
Like a Chinese buffet, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Oh, I love places like that. Great. Good luck. I'm sure you can be very successful doing that.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay. Angelica.
Hi, yeah. So I think that one of like the most important things is to be like passionate. And when you're passionate, you're motivated. So I was thinking that since I like my job, I could become a manager there. I've been there for 4 years, and I like that they're very flexible with like scheduling. So I would like take full advantage, because I also would like to travel and like do things while I'm young. And I think from there, like I could gain like experience, and then I would be able to like to take those skills to like other companies. And then when I'm ready to like settle down and have a more permanent career, then I would have like a lot more options because I've had experience.
Good. So what field again, Angelica? I know you've had me before.
Yeah, I work at Trader Joe's, so I would be a manager.
I remember. Cool. So you want to stay in that group?
Yeah, for now, I think it's a good stepping stone.
Great. Okay, excellent. Is there any job title you're after when you're working there? Like moving up and so on?
Yeah, I think I would you start off as like an assistant manager, and then you eventually go up from there, and then you're a manager of like the entire store.
So you want to be like a store manager? Oh, that's a big job. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yep, I was just thinking of going to the one on Union Square. I'm not too far from there. Excellent. Okay. Ming Hao. Ming Ha- is, Mi- oh,
Can you
maybe,
hear me?
okay, gotcha, okay. Go ahead.
My career goal is to work as an executive in a multinational company. I'm currently studying management, which can cultivate my management skills and provide strong support for achieving my career goals. I hope to engage in a career relative to management. And I hope to find a stable and well-paid job within 5 years after graduation.
Okay,
Mm,
when you say management, what, management of what? Like, what do you want to manage?
maybe like HR.
Like an HR manager, okay. And have you looked for any internships in HR yet?
Mm, I plan to find it in summer.
Good, good, okay. What year in school are you?
What?
What year in school are you?
3 years.
All right, don't waste further time because you're getting, by now you should have had at least one, you know, you should be working on your second one, so please do that. And are you majoring in HR?
Business management.
Your major is management?
Yes.
Okay, all right, it's close, but make sure you take at least a few HR classes. You do want that, and you should look at, after you graduate, maybe not right away, but if you have time, you can, is the certification program of the Society for Human Resource Management. They have a certification, and it's very useful to take those exams. I think they have 10 exams, and that's a good credential for someone who's working who wants to get into HR management. But on top of that, I urge you to do some coursework and also get that internship. Don't waste much more time because you know you're competing with. There's at least a few people in the class alone who are also interested in HR, and you're competing with people around the world who want to work in New York in HR. So my wife came here from Germany to work in New York. I mean, people are coming here from everywhere. So you want that leg up, and like a great way to get an advantage is through internships. All right. So, you know, that credential is like gold, you know, for the New York job market. And then on top of that, you know, you should be informational interviewing. You should be talking to HR people within the people in New York, you know, join SHRM, you know, go to meetings, meet people, things like that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, we're just about out of time. It's 10:44 and we've only done about half the class. So we will continue this with next time. Are the materials on hold until then, and but still do the discussion board tomorrow. That's due tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll finish. I think it's going to take all of the next class, so we're going to be like behind by a class, but that's all right. So have a nice weekend, and I will see you. I will see you now. Let me just call the names of people. There were 2 people who weren't marked present. I'm sorry. Nicholas, is Nicholas here? And Jaron. Are either of those people with us? Nicholas or Jaron? Okay, so sorry we couldn't get to everybody today, but we'll just have to continue on Monday. So have a nice weekend and see you on Monday. If you need to talk to me, stick around and we will talk. I have 15 minutes till my next class.
Professor, so the discussion board is due tomorrow night, not tonight?
I think I said Thursday night.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right.
That's the
Have a good day,
discussion
Professor.
board course for the what's the color for your parachute or for this assignment?
Say it again.
What is due tomorrow for what's the
The
color of your
discussion
parachute?
board, the discussion board for that was originally due on Monday. I
Okay,
changed it.
but this assignment about your career goal is due on the 15th, right?
I thought I had put the discussion board for Thursday.
Okay,
The
All right.
other- the what color is your parachute one is due the next class, I think.
all right, thank you.
All right. Have a good day, Professor.
You too. Take care.
Hey, Professor, I just wanted to ask, did you get my email? I did what you asked me to.
Syed, I'm trying to remember what I had asked you to do. Can you
It
remember?
was for the letter recommendation.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't checked my email yet, but I'll get to it. Not a problem. Okay, I'll get to it in a day or two, okay?
All right, thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. Anyone else?
Professor.
Yes, Zing Rang.
Yeah, so I got a question. So like for last class, you get the homework for it, right?
For the last class, what?
We got a homework for last class. For
Oh,
like for
were
last
you
Thursday class.
absent? Were you absent last class?
I'm here, but yeah, I come in late, but you did take my attendance. I sent you an email for.
Oh,
so I
you
come
came in late.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and you did take my attendance. Then like, I finished the homework side, like just email to you, or like I just find it like submit on Bravo.
Okay. So you're saying you you finished the discussion board assignment?
No, I'm finishing like the last week, like the homework for the class, like you give to us.
Oh, you finished. You enrolled.
Yeah,
in
like the
something?
co-op, right? Yeah, you get the co-op to do for last class.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
enrolled late. Is that what happened?
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay. So you're registered now, I assume. Is that true? You must be, because you got the your registration is okay at this point?
Yeah. So I got like I just emailed to you.
Okay, yeah, let me check. I don't recall.
I didn't send it yet. I just tell you like I got like I'm late for last class, and then I finished like the homework you gave to me, but I didn't submit
Okay,
on platform.
so you came late to the last class and
Yeah.
you just got admitted recently. All right, so you're gonna take care of the discussion board that was due last
Okay.
week. Right? There was a discussion. board
Yeah.
this week. Okay, and then there's one due tomorrow. Okay, so I think you're okay, but just double check your registration, make sure that you're in the class. If you're still in the class, then that's fine. Okay,
Okay. So like just like yeah, do the stuff on like on the discussion, right?
yeah, do the two discussion boards that were due. I think there's 10 altogether, so there were 2 that already passed, so
Okay.
those, take care of those 2. One's due tomorrow. It hasn't really passed. I changed the date, and then one was due last week. So take care of those 2, and also the one that's due tomorrow, and make sure that you're registered. Double check that you're registered. All right, because you do something. If you haven't attended the first few classes, they remove you. So just double check that you're still in the class.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Minister.
Bye now.
Have a nice day.
You too.